Hey everyone, I wanted to go over the new and exciting news that we got for Monster Rise Sunbreak that's set to release on both the Nintendo Switch and on PC on June 30th. And today we're going to be checking out something extremely special, and that's because we're getting our first look for the Plaza. This is one of the subsections that you're going to have access to in Elgato. Remember that Elgato is basically the new home, the new starting area you're going to be starting out from your quest and your explorations from in this brand new Sunbreak expansion. Your base will no longer be Kimura Village. In fact, it's going to be Elgato. Now, in the most recent blog update that we got from the Japanese website for Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, they did confirm that they were going to start showcasing us more information on the subsections for the Elgato area. We know that the home, the plaza, the command post, and the T-Shop mobile section are all part of Elgato. This is how they're sectioning it off completely. So a few days ago, we actually went over the brand new home gameplay clip, which I showcased a few days ago. I made a video of that. I'm going to leave a link in the description below if you didn't necessarily see it. And actually, as you're seeing right now in the gameplay clip that they provided us with, you're seeing that basically on the right side of the hunter, he's just basically going to be standing still as the camera pans around. You're going to notice that on the right side of the hunter is basically where the vessel ship is at. The vessel ship is where your home is located in Elgato. That is your starting point from there. This is basically going to have his very own loading screen and stuff like that. You go in there, you do your things, and then you come out, you're ready to go. You know, you do your hunt. In the plaza itself, you're going to have several things you're going to be noticing here as the camera spins. The plaza basically houses the Wyverian merchant, which is named Oboro. You're going to notice them a little bit on the right side there. You see the urn as well, kind of like foggy stuff. You know, this is where you're going to get your charms and stuff. You're going to be ready to do that as well. You also have the smithy named Minale, I believe is her name is. She's going to be a little bit on the back side to the right side of the hunter. Again, as the camera's spinning, you should be able to locate her. You also have the quest damsel Chiche. She's directly to the back left side of the hunter as the camera's spinning. She's gonna be basically like this whole thing. There's this lore. I want to make a video specifically talk about Chiche because she has this whole lore situation going on, which I do find interesting. And then on the left side to the front of the hunter, you're also gonna probably spot in the distance the scientist Barani. This is another character that's also going to be playing a big key role as to like basically the exploration of like why is Malzeno and the three lords, if you will, are causing havoc in this specific area, and why it is that you're going to be setting out to explore from Elgato. So this is pretty much the plaza, and they're considering it the center area, the focal point of Elgato. This is basically like the focal point of being able to like head out from different places. Now, as I talked about in the beginning of the video, the home area is at the right side. You're standing in the plaza. In the back of the hunter, as the camera spins, you're going to notice the command post. This is basically as you go up the stairs, there's going to be like the command post. This is where you can speak to the commander that we went over, to his assistants and all of that, the Royal Knights. You're going to be able to get a lot of information from them as well. And you're also going to notice that on the left side of the hunter, as the camera spins, you're going to notice the T-Shop mobile section. And this is the fourth area that they're talking about. So remember, the home is one of the sections. The plaza is the other one because that's basically where the merchants are. The command post, which is to the back of the hunter, that's the third one. And the tea shop is the fourth section. So that's how they're dividing up Elgato. That is pretty much how it's going to be. Now, one of the things that does happen in Elgato that we have not necessarily seen or they have not necessarily spoken about is the little like Meowser train, you know, little kitty train or whatever. We don't necessarily have details as of what that is ultimately going to be. We don't necessarily know. There's a lot of presumptions out there. I'm not going to get into that. So ultimately, they just simply haven't confirmed that as to what that is going to be. So we're not going to get into that for now. But basically, when they confirm that, we'll be able to have a better idea as to what is going on. Because specifically in this plaza area, you can see a little bit of sections of it by the T-Shop mobile section. You're going to see some of the railings there as well. But ultimately, at the end of the day, because they have not necessarily spoken about it, I don't want to also get into it as well. Now, one of the things that you are also going to see as the camera continues to spin is that there is a brand new courier. And this one is more reminiscent to the courier that we used to have in like the older games, Generations 3, 4, and that kind of stuff. This courier used to be able to let you have access to sending guild cards, Palico Trading, and even Street Pass. Now remember, Street Pass is not available on the Nintendo Switch. This was a 3DS DS feature. It might have also been. I don't quite remember. Palico trades are no longer a thing because you can download Palicos from the internet now, basically as Capcom puts them out, like event quest related stuff. And the guild card sending is kind of like done through the menu now. You don't necessarily have to go through the courier to do that. So it is interesting that they're bringing back the old courier. You don't necessarily see the new courier here. It would be interesting if they were both standing next to each other, but maybe they're just going to get rid of the old one, basically in the one in Kimura Village by, I believe, the Steelworks. That's the one that we kind of get all the event quests from. And they're going to make us deal with this courier from now on, or they're going to like revamp them or revamp her, and ultimately at the end of the day we end up getting something different. They're going to have a different role playing this time around. We don't necessarily know. Again, that falls into speculation, and I don't necessarily want to get into that. So it is fascinating to me that they're now showcasing the third of all the areas when it comes to Elgato. We have the home, the plaza, and we have yet to see. We've seen some images of the command post, which I spoke about in the most recent video. I'm going to leave in the link in the description below if you didn't catch that, because I think that's an important section when we're speaking about like what are the important things you're going to be seeing in Elgato. The command post is going to be one of the key pillars. Story movement related stuff like progressing the story and all of that, that's all going to be tied to the command post. So that one's going to be really important. And I think the last one that they need to showcase, of course, is the tea shop. They're going to showcase that eventually through a brand new trailer introduction when they go over more details for Elgato. But more importantly, that little Meowser train, I definitely want to hear the details on that, because as of right now, I just don't necessarily even want to wager what they could actually be trying to do with that. And if they're just going to do it for aesthetic purposes, I think it would be a complete waste. But realistically speaking, it most likely has to do with you having to go send out your cats to pick up materials for you, like you already send out the little submarines. So, you know, it's going to be replacing that. That's most likely what it's going to be, but we'll just have to wait and see. Now, one of the things that I specifically want to speculate on this video is because we're seeing showcased here rather heavily. And that's the fact that if you look to the right of the hunter all the way to the back, you're going to see basically the entrance to the Elgato section, basically this entire area that you're going to be accessing to. And there where the ship is at, you remember, like, you leave there and you make your way to the Citadel. That's basically the way you're going to be having access to the Citadel. To the front of the hunter, you're going to notice that there's a couple of forests. There's a house there. There's like the big fire. And then you're going to notice that there's like some trees to the back. And then all the way to the left of the hunter, you're going to notice this nice icy like area mountain like to the background and that kind of stuff. That's kind of led a lot of people to speculate that those are kind of like the sub areas that they're going to be like giving us access to going forward, presuming that there's going to be another map that they're going to be revealing that we're going to have access to separate from the Citadel. There's going to be a more foresty / icy top mountain. Now, the only reason why I disagree with that is because we already have access to a brand new ice area in the Citadel. So presumably maybe this is the back end of the Citadel. But it doesn't necessarily make sense since you have to go through the water. We'll just have to wait and see how they ultimately do it. But I've seen a lot of speculation from people saying that we're going to have access to a brand new map. I think that's pretty accurate. But at the end of the day, a new foresty map would be interesting. I don't know if they're actually going to stick to that. I think fire or something different, desert or whatever that they decide to do. We'll just have to wait and see for that. But I've seen a lot of speculation going around that usually whatever surrounds the village or the area that you're starting from is a queue of the areas that you're going to have access to when the new maps are revealed. So a lot of people have taken it to mean the forest area in the front of the hunter, the left area to the icy mountain means one of those two things are going to be showcased. We'll just have to wait and see. If you're brand new to my channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Hit the bell to receive notifications when the videos go up. And as always, thank you so much for watching. See ya.